generations are interconnected. I'll read for 6 or 7 minutes from this book. You'll hear lots of names of the people who are in my life at that point as they come and go. Summer ripened, June becoming July, and my head stayed mostly off my desk. I went to a friend's wedding where I held a baby. I taught my students at the jail. I gave Finn baths. I fixed my bike. I wrote curriculum for school teachers at $40 an hour. I sprayed off the kitchen counters. I baked. Marky took Finn for a week of afternoons so I could go through my mom's Social Security paperwork. She died without a will. To file an affidavit of a small estate. Open government envelopes in her name reminding her that she'd died. Fields and Raven and Yarrow asked me how I was doing, sat with me on the porch, and held my hands when I felt reality conform a little too deeply to my inner poverty and inner desertion. All July, it was hot enough that at bedtime, watery, deep, blue-green light out, we had to leave the windows open. Heard men's voices joking and laughing, distant as they passed on the street below us. 89 degrees upstairs at 9:45. Summer air. Fields and I are eating vermicelli at an outdoor table in a bamboo screen sunset crosshatch. The year is a helix. Outside, breathing, last year's July 14th feels inexpressibly closer than this year's April 1st or February 10th or. I set my chopsticks down a minute. Last year, mid-July, around sunset, we were in the woods east of Seattle, yellow light hazing sideways, peeking into a hollowed-out nurse log with Finn, who was 3 at the time. Finn saying, "There are monsters inside, but we're okay because we're monsters too." Climbing up the bare, muscly, outstretched roots of a cedar itself, climbing up the corpse of another fallen cedar. Another quote from Finn, "The tree's an octopus. I'm an octopus." Brushing moss where it hung in pale, dry bunches. My mom is infinitely, inexpressibly far, and the past is right here. It's true, I have no idea why. I remember her finding a way every day of my childhood to tell me I was sick, touching my forehead, frowning with concern when I developed a persistent cough or got a bee, or hung around too much with a friend she didn't care for. I remember her finding a way every day of my childhood to tell me I was beautiful. I remember absorbing the nursing terminology she'd used with us without knowing until later how few other kids felt hypoglycemic when they needed an orange, or recognized the deadly appeal of benzos, or swung upside down in the bars after lunch to feel their own chests and bellies in peristalsis. I remember on a pitch-dark February drive to elementary school hearing her spit "cocksuckers" to herself as another Honda whipped out of its driveway in a gray snow spray to cut us off. I remember flipping through sci-fi and horror movie boxes. There's a lot of VHS stuff in this book. I remember flipping through sci-fi and horror movie boxes, someone's rib cage being ripped out of their body, someone in a bloody shirt bound and screaming at the ceiling, Keir Dulley's wide and awestruck rainbow face through his space helmet, a robotic Godzilla duking.
I voted third party. Cigarette noon on the rise. Silver Jesus. A 2009 loft remembered, then twice chain-smoking Reds. Find us with probable cause and enough empty cans and tinfoil, crowns to make the future a dead bird. There was sovereignty and self-destruction. Though I don't tote dreams in the package of freedom, rather, what does the highway mean to you? What does the ripped canvas and the blue ribbon and the tooth mean to you? For me, it was cream circus in the holding cell. Likewise, twin hammers strung lovely, a cement vision and prayer for throat load, rage with blank votes and jump ship with torn shoes. I walked 20 miles of Smith songs where all street signs end, where all meat factories are visions for bonfires, at which point the anonymous lords ate Wednesday and bros reminisced or rescinded or shotgunned the pilot episode of Clean Demise. I am $100. Also the most collectible product on earth. Fighting time scouts with scorched psalms, if artificial stars break the mind, and I recall perfectly Saturday the 3rd, what exists in drilling fields, stony suns, to smoke the heavens, to reach forever, lusting crisis, when is it right to feast? Oh, thank you. I'll never read new work, but I'm fucking doing it for you. Reading poetry feels so much like being this guy, just naked and kind of cut up and still kind of smiling. I'm 5.5 years sober today. 5 sweet years, and in every one I'm on a brink. Collapse is an angry lover. I feel like my check won't last, like my car might give, like my knees have. It's hard to explain disorder. Chronic pain to the...
Nice. Never seen someone do that other than me.
Anybody else just fucking thirsty all the time? Like you're drinking hella water and you're still just thirsty? It's insane.
Yeah, dude, cheers to that.
Oh my God. Famous poem. Infamous. The haggard boys are here to stay. The crust-faced generation. A Xanax mother, throat infected from the oil pipeline and the oxy. I have been poisoned by my wishes for fame and escape and staging dead orchestra moments. Such rock and roll saves lives and takes lives, and I am washed up on the shore of a plastic beach like an undead drink aisle that does not quench, and the thirst for freedom, oh Lord, the thirst for freedom, oh Lord, the flag and the broken stereo and the way dust settles on the ornaments of coal. I did my best writing high on Percocet. I did my best fucking at age 16. And now, jolt remembrance, satisfaction of the God faceless hunger. I
read something. Well, first of all, it's really exciting to be here, and thank you to everybody who's performed and read. And yeah, and this space is something special in here. Like there's like, I was just like looking at the stuff behind the coffee bar, and it's beautiful, and like not in a stupid way, but like in like like somehow all the just, you know, that guy. But you'll hear some of the names of the people that, so anyway, some of that context comes into the footnotes. All right. I never did like Donald Vos. He was a malingerer, even as a child. Oh, I have to tell you one more thing. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to read it. When I'm doing footnotes, I'm going to hold up my finger like I'm like correcting things. And when I do the like marginalia, I'm going to do it like it's an aside, okay? We'll see how this works. I never did like Donald Vos. He was a malingerer, even as a child. Also never could stand Gertie Vos, Donald's mother, whose mix of righteousness and laissez-faire rubbed me backwards. She always had some new diet, some spiritual practice that would make her say no to any kind of generosity or fun. Can't eat the cake for the butter and the eggs. Can't come boating because she has to sit on a cushion and say some enlightened phrase. But ask her to discipline her child, or to work a shift at the store for you, or even to do what she promised to do, and it's all airy-fairy, loosey-goose. Yeah, I know that type. Birkenstocks, vague eyes, and desiccated tits. Anyhow, one of the first shenanigans I remember Donald getting up to was the whole escapade with the pictures. It was during an Independence Day picnic, right as the whole steamer full of guests was getting settled. We'd set up the big tables outside Liberty Hall, put cloths on them, hung bunting, a real ceilidh we were planning. People in leftist circles in Seattle and Tacoma, as well as gawkers and lonely would-be free lovers, liked to visit home on day trips, and our Independence Day picnics were famous and large. And there came the boys like a pack of mad monkeys, Donald, clearly their patriarch, running into the hall and tearing down the portraits we had up of Marx and Lenin and Ferrer and the rest. They ripped them up, replacing them with prints they'd procured somewhere of old presidents. "We don't want to be called foreign cranks and bastards," they told us when we asked what they were doing. "We want to be Americans." as though the whole beauty of America is not that one might hang any picture one chose. Illusions, illusions. What choice if they're brainwashing your ass?
I stand here and I am just looking. I look back there and I'm just seeing that sign that says exit. I'm not interpreting it. I don't have any preconceptions about it. I am just looking. A ghastly stench, bulbous disarray, shoved coagulated blood into the ether. The water filtered through centrifugal force, the cells separated perfectly out into a black, shiny reflectivity. Differentiated stages of rigor mortis. A slick purple nighttime, fireflies, brown hot dog plants, the drone of a frog fills its own cavity with such reverb that the frog negates itself, so overcome with wind, frond, and scent. When did the view from below become the internal one and not the view from above? All suggestions of red have vanished and remain a whimper among droves of violet. To cull, hone, or abandon the instincts, all to do but put words together, stick them. It was the worst voice in their voice after iterated long hours in boundary. Subsumed, they looked to be in their early 30s with delicate, baby-like features and croaked out almost a hush, but the attempt venerable. Their mouth tepid and dry, you could hear their tongue lift, wail extending from water, and hear it fall with ladylike gravity. Others, 2 dozens, some in rotund forms from the gas and spewed as flotsam. Rubbed her back until the rushing subsided, and she croaked, I haven't done that in a while, that she hadn't eaten mud since girlhood. A waking breath, not as a paroxysm, but as a clump that falls gently out. Advised her, you ought to rub your limbs. It will help. To start rubbing the limbs promptly because it takes time for the calcium and adenosine to spin. Kissing the curves notwithstanding. The pond floor mud between our toes displaced water biblically as we trotted. Death's firmament was bubbling warm and inviting, percolating with parasitic and opportunistic life forms as they swarmed voraciously just out of our perception. Insoluble, insatiable, rotting. It's crucial that we coo to emanate softness at every turn in order to combat the stench of lividity. Her mouth reeks agape and I kiss the dehydrated cheek. I am not above begging. You are also the view from below. In the pond, the capillaries prune. Hackneyed presupposition, I dragged her, hair first, out of that swamp of nothingness. Dejectedly, wake up. All night continued this way, corpse to body, body to voice.
And usually I try to write something new, but this month got the better of me, so you have my best intentions, but no new poetry. I'm going to read you something I didn't ever mean to read out aloud, but it's, I thought, pretty relevant for this year. It's called Shooting Hoops in the Dark in the Desert the Eve of Election Day 2020, the day after daylight savings time ends. Waiting for night vision, so easily ruined, but it's not so much about waiting, just throwing, just shooting. Doesn't matter if the ball goes in, can't tell really. Sometimes just by the sound, a thunk, a swish, doesn't matter. Just chasing the ball, the same color as my shoes, the ground, the sound, the hoop, the sand, the plants no longer pesticide blue. Can't check by sight for spikes, spines stuck in the skin. Just throwing, hoping, chasing the sound, the ball so flat, the cold that rises from the shadows. I was just trying to move, to not think, to not wonder why. Why are my shoulders so broad? Or if in another time or place that would be celebrated. What is the point? What is it like for others to not mourn a big loss in sight, to do the most basic small things without glasses? I used to see so much better. Grab the ball from the ground when the ball don't bounce. Don't see me double dribble. Don't see me miss. Don't see me make it in the dark. Better in the better dark. Better in the dark. Nothing happened, but I could not pick out the man if he had to be in a lineup, not even by his clothes. Camel pants, maybe khaki shorts, maybe an off-white t-shirt. Don't know if there were sleeves, didn't watch closely, don't happen to have the precision to paint the numbers on watch faces. Just know that we were there for the blackberries, not so close to the encampments, but a trip and a roll away from the water. Close to dusk, we took what we wanted if we could reach for it. I'm not afraid to small talk with strangers, but sometimes you can't look them in the eye. Sometimes you can find the story of radium girls enchanting. They just didn't know.
In leaving the place I called home, I have gained Atlas's weight on my back. It's one of those spitballs, stuck and clumped together. Throw some rubber bands in, a few pieces of old gum, stale and tacky, a few post-its of old unfinished to-do lists, the books I have not read for class, the items I have lost, they're all there. Every resounding day, every memorable scent resides in that glob on my back, balanced between my 6th and 7th vertebrae. It eats me when I am hungry. I cannot indulge, even when the sweet smell of afternoon tea with my grandmother fills my nose, when all I can remember is the breakfasts I used to share. I am pious, I am ascetic. I wear my clothes and weight on my back and hear those 97 theses ring through ears, that hope grows out of suffering, not merit, that man does not have goodwill, that we are the servants of our actions. I ask, beg to be absolved, secularized, but my mind is puddles, and all that is reflected is that cross I bear, and as I walk through them, the nails in the soles of my feet get pushed a little further, the nails I hammered in all on my own. I have taken off my coat, hung it on the pew, taken permanent residence on that cross, reminder for myself to change that on my documents. I have made my life holy, sanctified. I eat between the donation box and the pastor's quarters. I drink the blood, consume the body. I do not understand, and I am not whole, for I carry that weight, those memories, the earth as I see it on my back. It's quite heavy, if you were wondering. I try. Why am I yet to be sacrilegious, turned into a deity? What is it my turn? For the time being, I will sit here, and I'll hold that way, for no one else will.